It's good to see you. Always good to be seen. To the land of your soul.
I know.
Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn.
Oh, okay. Well, she's going to give you a name tag.
Return again.
Yeah, Robin.
Return again. Return to the land of your soul. All right, we're going to get started. Happy New Year, everybody. Shena Tovah. I'm going to borrow this. Okay, that's fine.
Robin,
What?
wait 5 more minutes before starting the service.
Oh, it's okay.
We're waiting on 6 more people.
It's not a big deal. It's sort of a. It's not. This is a. The structure of this service is really it's a ritual that's very personal, and so it hasn't been until recently that people have started gathering and doing it. I mean, how many of you grew up doing this ritual? Grew up doing it? Anyone? No, not me either. Now, are we all Reformed Jews, or do we have some conservative doxes here? Right.
Reformadox.
So even in the conservative and the Orthodox movement, this has been just kind of a, it's a personal thing that you go and you do by yourself. And I wanted to tell you guys, when I was growing up, I'd never heard of it before. I had never heard of this before. And when I decided to sort of return,
Okay.
ooh, that's old bread though, Damien. The bread is for the fishes, not the mouths, so it might not taste so good. But
Take
you
a
go
bite. It
for
won't hurt. Yeah.
You go for it.
Great.
I'm just warning you, it might be a little
Dip a
dry.
little bit of honey in it. Yeah, and it might be a little dry, but you might like it.
So anyway, when I decided to be a born-again Jew, I started reading and learning and reading, and I found out about this custom, and I yelled at my mother and said, why didn't you ever tell me about this? This is absolutely such a cool thing to do. The whole concept of letting go of your regrets and your sins and things like that, and putting it out into the water, especially living where we do, is just so beautiful.
Yes.
And so, of course, I yelled at my mother for not teaching me about it, but she didn't know about it either because she grew up as a Reformed Jew also. And only recently has Reformed Judaism really embraced its informed choice background. We choose what we find meaningful, but in order to choose what we find meaningful, we have to know what we're choosing from. You know, we got to see the menu so we can decide what we think is important and not important. So I'm so grateful that I discovered this on an ultra-Orthodox website, by the way. And started doing it in my backyard. And I believe that you guys were there when we first started doing it in my backyard. I live on a tidal creek. Now, the way tides work, it's exactly the same depending on the moon, right? So every year at Rosh Hashanah, after the service, we'd go to my house for a little nosh, and we'd go out, and every year there was no water, none. There was like a little itty bitty canal because it was always low tide at the new moon in September, which is when Rosh Hashanah is. That's the earth is very. It does the same thing. It has its own it's cyclical. It has its own rituals. So there was never any water. So I was really grateful when more and more people started discovering this, and we could find fabulous water like this. I've never been out here.
This is amazing.
It is absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Robin. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm so happy to be here. Okay, so I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Anybody else?
Procrastinating.
Smoking.
That's a lot of syllables. I'm gonna lay down my procrastinating down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my procrastinating down by the riverside. Study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Somebody else said something that, was there another one?
Hate.
What?
Hate.
Hate. Hate. Let's let it go. I'm gonna lay down my hate down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my hate down by the riverside. Study war no more. We're gonna sing it in Hebrew. Lo yisa goy el goy zarev. Lo yimaldu od milchama. Lo yisa goy el goy zarev. Lo yisa goy el goy zarev. Lo yimaldu od milchama. Lo yisa goy el goy zarev. Thank you for all of your ideas. So that's kind of one of the things we're doing here when we let go of things. Those are the kind of things that we let go of. When I was first learning about it, I was told, or I read, there had to be fish in it. And the reason there had to be fish in it, there were several reasons. The one that I really liked was fish don't have eyelids. And so their eyes are always open and they see everything. And so it's very similar to God that way, and we toss our crumbs into the water where the fish can eat them and take them away with their eyes wide open. I recently read somewhere, though, that people are concerned about the fish and the ducks and the other sea creatures that we might be throwing bread to. Some people are doing some really interesting things. They're throwing pebbles into the water. Some people are going back to emptying. The original intent was to empty your pockets of lint, all the little pieces of lint that get stuck in your pockets, and let go of those and toss those into the water as opposed to bread. I guess we thought bread would be nicer for the fish. We'd give them something to eat instead of just a bunch of dirt. One thing that we used to do at KKBE that I really adored was we would take our old nasty stale matzah, and we would mark on it with washable markers our things we wanted to let go, and then we would crumble that up and throw that into the water. And so it was a very concrete way of writing down what you wanted to let go of. This is very interesting. The preferred order of bodies of water is the sea, a river, a lake, a spring, or a fountain. And I recently read that you can use the faucet because the water is moving. And so you can let go of your sins into your sink, I suppose.
What does this qualify as?
This is a river. This is definitely a river. What does the Telrace Canal connect to on either end? Do you know?
The Cooper, I believe.
The Cooper?
The Wando.
And the Cooper? Very cool. So it's a river. It's definitely, it ain't no creek.
No, it's moving. It's a river.
It is much more substantial than a creek. Okay. So, while it's traditional to shake out the hems of one's clothing to make sure all the sins have been disposed of, Tashlich ceremonies differ all through the world. The Jews of Kurdistan had a custom to recite the Tashlich prayer near a river and then jump into the water and swim around instead of just shaking out the hems of their clothing.
That sounds really good.
Does that sound good right now?
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, you guys are all in the shade over there. All right. Patrick, am I stalling or are we good?
Very good.
We're good.
Let's continue then.
Hey, wait, Kurdistan, you said.
Kurdistan.
And that's a cold place.
Very cold.
So
It's
they
like the
would be
Polar Bear
like-
Club.
Yeah, they would be like polar bear.
Okay, so let's read together from Psalm 130. There's a few liturgical writings that are associated with Tashlich, and this is one of them. The other is from Micah that we'll get to in a second. So let's read that together out of the depths. Out of the depths I call to you, God. Hear my cry, heed my plea. Be attentive to my prayers, to my sigh of supplication. Who could endure, O source of being, if you kept count of every shortcoming? But forgiveness is yours. Therefore we revere you. I wait for the Creator. My soul yearns. Hopefully I await God's word. I wait for the source more eagerly than watchmen wait for dawn. Put your hope in the mother of all, for she is generous with mercy. Abundant is God's power to redeem. May God redeem the people Israel from all sin. Hachol v'chayam rishu shel hamayim v'rak hashamayim tefilat hadam. Oh God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of mankind, the sand and the sea, the rush of the water, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of humankind. Enu va'anenu ki ein banu ma'asim ma'aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed ma'aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. So let's warm up with a nice tekiah, okay? Tekiah! Ready? Got a deep breath in there? Tekiah Gedolah!
Nice.
Echo. Let's let that carry us through the next week until Yom Kippur. Thank you, David. That's a really awesome guitar. I like that. It's an Ibis. It's an Ibis.
He's got one more.
That one belongs to.
Yeah, but it's a breath supper. That was Tony's, I think. That's today's at the book.
Oh, it was Tony's because I know that she was. Amanda was.
But she can't do her record like 47-second tekiah Gedolah. Started something, David. Shena Tovah. May our fast be easy but meaningful. Let's eat.